Disowned and cut from the will, I bought the land under my family's house. What I did next left everyone speechless. The manila folder slipped from my trembling fingers, legal documents scattering across my father's mahogany desk like fallen leaves. I had to read the words again, convinced my eyes were playing tricks on me. They weren't, and I just discovered I've been written out of my parents' will. Did you find the insurance papers? My mother, Viviana's, voice floated up from downstairs, making me jump. I'd offered to look for them while they were entertaining my brother, Elijah, and his latest business success. Not yet, I called back, my voice surprisingly steady despite the hurricane of emotions threatening to tear me apart. I gathered the papers quickly, but one line kept jumping out at me. All assets to be transferred to Elijah Mackenzie. The sound of laughter drifted up from below. That familiar warm rumble of my father Edmund's chuckle mixing with Elijah's confident tone. The same sounds I'd grown up with, always feeling like an outsider looking in. Chloe. My best friend Leah's text lit up my phone. How's the family dinner going? I snapped a photo of the will and sent it to her. Her response was immediate. Holy. Call me now. I'll be right down. I shouted to my family, slipping into the hallway bathroom. I pressed Leah's contact and held my breath. What the actual? Leah's voice was a fierce whisper. When did they do this? The date shows last month, I replied, gripping the sink edge right after Elijah's promotion to CEO. While you were busy running your own successful business, the one you built from scratch. Apparently, that doesn't count. She scoffed. I caught my reflection in the mirror, green eyes bright with unshed tears, dark hair falling from its careful arrangement. Mom's always made it clear that Elijah's achievements matter more. A knock at the door made me jump. Honey, my father's voice. Your mother's serving dessert. Coming. I ended the call with Leah, splashed cold water on my face, and painted on my best smile. The dining room was a shrine to family success, all Elijah's, of course. His graduation photos, business awards, and newspaper clippings decorated the walls. My own achievements were relegated to a single family photo from my college graduation tucked away in a corner. There you are, my mother said, serving tiramisu. Elijah was just telling us about his new development project. Fascinating. I managed taking my seat. Did you tell them about the Anderson contract? I asked him, referring to the client he'd stolen from my consulting firm last month. Elijah's smile flickered. Ancient history, sis. We're focusing on the future now. Speaking of the future, my mother interjected. Elijah's considering buying a house in the neighborhood. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have him closer? I stabbed my dessert with more force than necessary. Wonderful. You know, Chloe, my father said gently, you could move closer too. That apartment downtown must be getting cramped. My apartment suits me fine, I replied, thinking of my penthouse office space and the view of the city I'd earned through years of hard work that apparently meant nothing to them. Well, you might change your mind once you meet the right person, my mother added. Elijah, tell Chloe about that lovely lawyer you met at the country club. I pushed my chair back abruptly. I should go. Early meeting tomorrow. But you've barely touched your dessert, my mother protested. Lost my appetite. I grabbed my purse, kissed my father's cheek out of habit, and headed for the door. Chloe, Elijah called after me. Don't forget the charity gala next week. The family should present a united front. I turned back, meeting his eyes. Wouldn't want to disappoint the family, would I? The drive home was a blur of streetlights and suppressed screams. I parked in my building's garage and sat there, hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. My phone buzzed. Leah again. Come over. I have wine and a shoulder to cry on. I started to type on my way when another text came through. This one from Valeria, my colleague in real estate development. Remember that conversation about property rights? Found something interesting. Call me when you can. I stared at the message, something clicking into place. The family home, my parents' pride and joy, the symbol of their perfect life with their perfect son. What if rain? Check on the wine. I texted Leah, I need to research something. Opening my laptop, I began to search property records. My hand steady now, driven by purpose rather than anger. If they thought they could write me out of the family legacy, they had another thing coming. I was done being the good daughter. It was time to show them exactly what I was worth. You're telling me the land under your parents' house isn't included in the property deed? Leah leaned forward on my office couch, wine glass forgotten in her hand. It's called a land lease, I explained, spreading the documents across my coffee table. Pretty common in the 1960s when the house was built. My grandfather only bought the house, not the land beneath it, and nobody owns the land now. The original lease company went bankrupt in the 90s. The land's been in legal limbo ever since. I tapped the property records on my screen. My parents probably don't even know. They just pay property taxes on the house itself. Leah's eyes widened. So theoretically, someone could buy the land right out from under them? Exactly. I closed my laptop with a satisfying click. Chloe, Leah set down her wineglass. That's deliciously evil. I love it. My phone buzzed. Valeria calling. I put her on speaker. You're not going to believe this, she said without preamble. I talked to my contact at the county assessor's office. The land is going up for public auction next month. Leah clapped her hands silently, mouthing, "Do it." What's the starting bid? I asked. That's the best part. It's ridiculously low because of the legal complications. Most developers won't touch it because of the existing structure. I remembered every dismissive comment my mother had ever made about my career choices. Send me the details. I want to be first in line. After hanging up, Leah poured more wine. Your mother's going to have a stroke when she finds out. If she finds out, I corrected, the purchase can be made through a shell company. They'll never know it's me. Speaking of your mother, Leah pulled up a social media post on her phone. Look what she shared yesterday. It was a photo from the country club featuring Elijah shaking hands with some executives. The caption read, "So proud of my son's latest achievement following in his father's footsteps." Perfectly funny, I said, taking a large sip of wine. She never shared anything about my company making the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. Remember when she said, "Your business was just a hobby"? At Christmas dinner, right after Elijah announced his engagement to what's-her-name, who lasted all of 3 months, I stood up pacing. You know what really kills me? Dad used to be different. He used to come to all my debate competitions, my graduation speeches. Then one day, it's like he just gave up. Gave up what? Leah asked, fighting Mom's narrative that Elijah was the golden child, and I was just there. My phone buzzed again. A text from my father. You left so quickly tonight. Everything okay? Speak of the devil, I muttered, showing Leah the message. Are you going to tell him about the will? What's the point? I tossed the phone aside. He signed it too. The next morning, I met Valeria at her office. She had more documents spread across her desk, post-its marking key pages. The auction's in 3 weeks, she said. I've already started the paperwork for your shell company. But, Chloe, are you sure about this? Why wouldn't I be? Because once you own the land, you'll have real power over your family's home. That's heavy stuff. I thought about the family photos on the walls, all carefully arranged to showcase Elijah's path to success. They made their choice. Now I'm making mine. There's something else. Valeria slid another document across the desk. Natasha Ray's development company has been sniffing around the area. If they find out about the auction, they won't, I said firmly. How much liquid capital do I need? As Valeria quoted figures, my phone lit up with a group text from my mother. Family dinner this Sunday. Elijah has exciting news to share. I bet he does, I murmured. What? Valeria looked up. Nothing. I signed the preliminary paperwork, just family stuff. Send me the rest to review later. That afternoon, I stood at my office window looking out at the city skyline I'd worked so hard to be part of. My company logo glowed on a building 2 blocks away, proof that I wasn't just Elijah's little sister anymore. My phone buzzed with an email from Leah. Found this while cleaning. Attached was a photo from 10 years ago. Me at my business launch party, beaming with pride. My father was there, arm around my shoulders, looking genuinely proud. My mother and Elijah were notably absent. I touched the screen, remembering that moment. Then I opened my banking app and started transferring funds for the auction. Game on, I whispered to my reflection in the window. Let's see how they like being powerless for a change. The auction room buzzed with quiet conversation as I adjusted my wig and glasses. Valeria sat beside me, both of us dressed in conservative business suits that would blend in with the other developers and investors. Lot 247 coming up, she whispered. Remember, let me do the bidding. You're just here to observe. I nodded, my heart pounding as the auctioneer cleared his throat. Next up, Lot 247, land parcel in the Heritage District, currently leased property with existing structure. A few heads turned our way, other developers probably wondering about the new faces in the crowd. I kept my expression neutral even as I spotted Natasha Ray 3 rows ahead, her red power suit impossible to miss. The bidding started low just as Valeria had predicted. A few half-hearted offers from the front row. Nothing serious. Then Natasha's hand went up, doubling the price. Valeria waited 2 more bids before joining in. My palms were sweating as the numbers climbed. This was my entire savings plus a business loan, all riding on the next few minutes. Going once at $850,000, the auctioneer called. Natasha turned around, scanning the room. Her eyes locked with mine for a moment, but the disguise held. She turned back, raised her paddle one last time. $900,000. Valeria looked at me. I gave her the smallest nod. 1,200,000.0, she called clearly. The room went silent. Natasha's shoulders stiffened, but she didn't turn around again. 1,200,000.0 going once, going twice, sold to bidder number 183. My hands were shaking as we signed the paperwork outside the auction house. Valeria finally broke into a grin. Congratulations. You now own the land under your family's house. My phone buzzed. Speaking of family, a text from Elijah. Missing you at Sunday dinner. Mom's making your favorite lasagna. Like hell. It's my favorite, I muttered, remembering how she'd always made Elijah's preferred meat sauce instead of my vegetarian recipe. And Mackenzie, a voice called from behind us. We turned to see Natasha Ray approaching, hand extended. I don't believe we've met. I'm Natasha Ray, Pinnacle Development. I kept my wig on but removed the glasses. No point hiding now. Chloe Mackenzie, pleasure. That was quite a bold move in there. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. I'm curious about your plans for the property. I'm sure you are. I matched her smile. I'll have my office contact yours. Back at my office, I found my father waiting in the lobby. My stomach dropped. Did he somehow know already? Dad, what are you doing here? Can't a father visit his daughter at work? He looked around the modern space appreciatively. This is quite impressive, Chloe. Thanks, I said cautiously. What's really going on? He sighed, shoulders slumping. Your mother's worried about you. You've missed 3 Sunday dinners in a row. I've been busy. I led him to my office, closing the door. Running a successful business takes time. Oh, wait, that only counts when Elijah does it. That's not fair, Chloe, isn't it? I pulled up the photo of the will on my phone, showing it to him. Want to talk about what's really not fair? The color drained from his face. Where did you get this? Does it matter? You signed it, Dad. You and Mom both decided I wasn't worth including. It's not that simple, he started. It never is with this family, is it? I turned to the window, fighting back tears. You should go. I have a meeting. Chloe, please come to dinner on Sunday. Elijah is announcing his engagement. I spun back around. Again, what is this number?